You're watching SBA Today. With all the latest news, stories, and advice, here are your hosts, Paul Long and Tanya Mazurek.
And welcome to SBA Today, sponsored by SBA Collective for the week of January 20th. I am Pablo Long, joined by...
well, gosh, what can I be? Tatiana Mazurek? No, okay. Tanya Mazurek. A lot of people might call me something else, so I better go on the positive side. I'm kidding. All right. So, guys, we're going to have a guest today. But before we get into that special guest, we have got some SBA news as per typical, right? SBA's procedural notice on the SBSS score guidelines. Yes, we spoke about it last week, so we won't go too in depth. Yeah, I know, right? But bottom line, they're stopping the SBSS scoring for 7A small loans with applications starting March 1st. Okay, so at least it's not like right now, get it together, people, right? You got a second. Yep. What the lender needs to do is adopt their credit analysis consistent with non-SBA guaranteed loans if this is not something that they have been doing prior, which that's why we're having to do it if you haven't been doing it prior. Anyway, and utilize internal credit scoring models for non-SBA loans. Now, keep in mind, it cannot be based strictly on the credit score, the consumer credit score. And SBA Express loans, well, they're not affected, so they're going to remain the same.
You're getting cut in half anyway, so they don't care.
Yeah, right.
Well, here, okay, so yes, I printed this out and I read it and I thought about it and really went dive. I know, right?
No.
So here is what is not being said, because sometimes the silence is more, right? So the rules used to be if you got an acceptable SBSS score, then you don't have to address credit history, strength of the business, debt service coverage. It's kind of a rubber stamp, kind of a score and go, right? Like they kind of set it up that way.
Right.
And if they're trying to get away from a score and go, yet the SBA has a score and go, interesting, right? So the biggest thing on that is how you're doing small loans. If you are just relying on the SBSS score and then maybe just doing like a little bit, those days are over, right? And so there's going to be a little bit more work. It's pretty much also saying you need to do debt service coverage. We don't care if you have a credit scoring model. Good for you, not our problem, is what they're saying.
Right.
But you need to have the borrower history, guarantor. Is there a franchise? I mean, there's no more. This was, I think, the last piece of the score and go. I thought they were going to replace it with Redwood, but no.
I know you did. So, I was wrong.
No.
So, Paul, what you're saying, let's see if we can just break this down to the very, very little tiniest bit. Is what you're saying is SBA is saying no more score and go. And yet the SBSS was a score and go. So look how we come around. Strange how that happens.
I never saw it coming. Like I was like, I wonder what they're going to do with that. But when it came out and started thinking about it, it makes logical sense. And it is what it is, because smaller loans have a higher default rate. You need to have some analysis. And for the love of God, do a debt service coverage ratio. Like I can't
even imagine how that would be there to begin with. I mean, come on, man. But you know what's funny is what you said as far as silence. Silence. Basically, silence can be deadly. Oh yeah, ask anybody that deals with Tanya. Like, right? I'm a mouth. I will come. I want to know. I want to learn. I want to dig in. I want to fix things. I want to do all that. When I go silent,
guys, when her technology doesn't work, she gets real silent and you can just see the steam. It's quite entertaining. Anyway.
I should bring Madison, our producer, on to see who actually does that, Paul, you lying sack of baloney. Mine, yeah, I guess my head might be spinning a bit, but there's the steam and red face and all that. But anyway, okay. We will move on because otherwise we can do this all day long. Anyway, before we get into the guests, I want to touch on the current deja vu of where we are. That's we were back in October and prior to October as well. The looming shutdown, because it is the elephant in the room. Everybody's talking about it. May as well not skip over it because it's looming. And I guess for me, and Paul knows I always have an opinion, right? Doesn't make it right, but I have an opinion. It's happening. Why? Because nobody can play nice in the sandbox. Nobody's gotten closer as far as maybe setting down their armor enough to hear the other party. And this is going on both sides, right? So, I'm not particular. I'm blaming them both. Not the SBA per se, the government. So if the government does shut down, what happens? Well, we don't get appropriations for funding, right? And so we have to do what we can do. What's going to happen, though, because I believe it's going to happen, is prepare yourself. Get ready. I mean, some banks, whether you're getting your authorization numbers approved with all of the documentation you would need, some of the other things maybe that you can do as you go along. Do what you need to do to prepare yourself to help as many as you can prior to this happens, because I truly believe it's going to happen. Paul, what's your thought?
1,000% it's going to happen. But my crystal ball, because it is so right none of the time, that I genuinely don't think it's going to last another 45 days or whatever the last one was, because I think it'll be an issue, but I don't think it'll go that far again. I don't. Maybe I'm just hopeful. Maybe this is the Tanya in me.
Last time, and Paul didn't think there would be another one, and I thought there would be another one, just because people, when they get so stuck in their dadgum, whether it be policy or just rightness, they get stuck in the rightness. They can't see, what is it? The forest for the trees. So I think, I'm gonna put myself out there. I think it's going to be a long one. I do. I think if they shut down, it's going to be a long one. Unless people can really recognize that, it's doing more harm than good, and move forward.
It's going to hurt a lot of business owners and future business owners and out there,
and business owners and future business owners, they're people, they're humans, they're families.
Yep.
It's like, come on, man. Anyway, there you go. That's
we dwell. So last week, because we had, when we say, hey, if you have any questions or anything, hey, reach out to us, or hey, post on social media, like people actually listen and do that. Woohoo!
No.
So last week, I made a comment about 7A lending isn't evenly distributed throughout the year, and we were curious about some of the stats. And Mr. Nick Repertorio, and I hope, Repertorio.
Nope. Repertorio.
That's what Repertorio. Repertorio. Damn it. Okay.
Okay, wait. Okay, Nick, before you go, I will give everybody the lowdown. He asked the pronunciation beforehand, and I jacked with him because he jacks with me consistently, so it's his turn. And I was like, Repertorio, trying to just get it in his head, and I did it.
Yeah, whatever.
Sorry.
Well, Nick. he is another data nerd out there, which we absolutely appreciate. And he responded to this and had some data. And so rather than me trying to analyze it, let's bring Nick on the show. So Nick, welcome to SBA Today.
Thank you for having me, both of you.
Hi, Nick.
Long time watcher, first time guest.
Awesome.
Well,
who the heck are you?
We're loving this.
Let's start with that.
Yeah, so Nick Repertorio, I work at Venturis as a BDO over there. Prior to that, I was brokering SBA loans, which got me into the data nerd side, because when trying to figure out what lenders to take my borrowers to, I'd try to put the data behind me and figure out who likes particular industries and loan sizes. Right. So I took the FOIA data, which is publicly available, and then enhanced it and cleaned it up and put it in a dashboard that I can search and filter and get all sorts of unique insights, which I would just go down rabbit holes further than I probably needed to. But people found it interesting on LinkedIn, so I kept doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Well, I would love to have you live tell us, we talked about SBA lending not being evenly distributed throughout the fiscal year. What's some of your statistics based on that? When is the Super Bowl of SBA lending?
Yeah, so let me pull that post I had made in response to your video last week. So believe it or not, over the past 5 years, it was Q4 did have the most approvals. Let me zoom in here.
Yeah.
Most approvals. It just went Q4, Q3, Q2, Q1, but the charge-off rate was not the highest. And I think in your video last week, you had maybe said, I would think that would be the highest default rate. The highest default rate was actually loans made in the first quarter, believe it or not.
And explain to anybody that doesn't know, first quarter in SBA is end of the year.
Well, fiscal year data, so October. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh,
October,
which
November,
would be
December.
Fourth quarter
calendar
for
year.
The regular person.
Yes.
But so it does have higher charge off.
Yeah.
The October, November, December. Is that what I'm hearing?
That is correct.
It's Q1.
So when I look at the data, just because the FOIA data goes in those quarters, I try to keep it the same because that's how a lot of SBA lenders will think. But
correct.
Yeah, fiscal quarter Q1, which is October, November, December, had the highest charge-off rate.
So that's the garbage can is Q4 or October, November, December.
That's the let's push this through and get it done because I've got what goals to make.
I've got goals.
Hitting my goals. I mean, you've got that. Well, okay. There's some other things on that too that I would think. So some of it could also be, sellers need to get things done because of maybe tax consequences and whatnot when they're selling certain property. So you can have to push for that, right? That can always happen. But yeah, Paul's and mine was more along the lines of us lenders and BDOs out there.
And they had the Q1 fiscal Q1. So October, November, December had the highest disbursement percentage, which that's a big thing I like to look at because when you look at the top lender charts, that's just going off of approvals, but that's not necessarily putting money on the street. So it was always interesting to me to see approval versus disbursement data, which I did another post because some lenders were maybe top 3 in approvals, but number 8 in disbursements, which is interesting.
And there's a lot of, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, who's putting money on the street actually?
It's always interesting to me when they clean up their reports. What is that in? Well, I guess in Q1, where all of a sudden your authorization's like, okay, we got it all done. Here's all the final numbers. But hold on, flushing the toilet, all these authorizations that went out but were never funded, and all these numbers start getting packed down, and that's interesting. Do you happen to know? And I don't know. Maybe
I have the dashboard up here because I thought I might be quizzed, and obviously I don't.
Nice.
Who's the culprit? Who's the number one culprit for? I'll say it for exceeding and then having to come back.
So I made a post a couple weeks ago, and I had noticed that, and this is mainly, I guess I'm picking on the small balance, right? But Northeast Bank was number 4 in approvals, but they were number 8 in disbursements. So they were a big jump. And then someone who jumped the other way was ReadyCap. ReadyCap was like number 5 in approvals, but I believe they were number 3 in disbursements. So there is some changes of who's actually getting approvals. And then it was, let's see, Wells Fargo wasn't even on top 10 for approvals, but they were top 10 for disbursements. And this was disbursements in fiscal year 25.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I want to know, do you see on there, because the two that we're always talking about, right? That's got the top notch for SBA lending is Newtek and Huntington. So what about those
Huntington
guys?
was 3 on approvals for fiscal year 25 and 2 for disbursements. Live Oak was 1 on both. They were 1 in approvals, 1 in disbursements.
Okay.
Interesting. And what about Newtek?
So that's
Newtek was 2 in approvals, 4 in disbursements.
Okay.
So not a huge jump.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, no kidding. No, that's good. But
yeah,
I know that I'm sure that there's lenders out there that just have a more laissez-faire way of doing authorizations, and so
it's also
just
timing. It's
interesting.
some lenders will pull PLP prior to other lenders, and that could skew their numbers. But
Exactly,
then you can
100%.
click into one lender and kind of directionally look at where they're going year over year to kind of pick up trends and just see what different lenders are doing. I mean, the data was very helpful, not only in placing loans, but actually I'm working with Venturis now, which is a division of Heritage Bank. And I had made a post. I was just looking at who are some up and coming lenders. So like I filtered, who jumped 50 ranking points for like 2 or 3 years in a row or something. And there was 4 lenders, and I made a post about it. One of them being Heritage Bank. And I'm like, who's Heritage Bank? And I searched and found it was Ventura. So, trying to find lenders that are growing, and then I could do the opposite search and find lenders that are shrinking. So there's a lot that can be, determined from the data.
As a hiring manager, I would love to be in an interview with you, because you're probably going to know more sometimes about my division based on your data.
Yeah.
Or you come to the table and just be like, so in November of 2025, you had 25 loans at this, like,
You know what I love about that
that's
too?
impressive.
I'm going to take this to a whole nother range just because, Paul, you brought that up. Also, though, when you're sitting in there, it gives you an idea. When you bring in so much information and you're so prepared like that, it's going to give you information on your hiring manager, right? And who that is, because if they can't handle it because you bring up something either they don't know in the moment or makes them feel like they should have, or any of that fun stuff, that's going to give you a lot of data of who you're going to work for. Yeah. Right? Think about that.
Looking at who's actually putting the money on the streets. I mean, I would look at cancellation data. So they pulled PLP but never dispersed. Right. So if you're going to go, I mean, it's so much work to just get an approval for it to never close for whatever the reason. I mean, there's reasons outside of the lender's control.
100%.
If they're just trending, at a much different rate, it's like, why? And at least you ask the question, like, hey, I noticed this, why?
And I sure hope they have answers. Yeah. That's very interesting. That's interesting.
Are there any other numbers that we didn't ask about that you think is really interesting, Nick? Because we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah, it's a good one. Of the things I really like doing is I slice the data by different loan sizes. So there's a ton of data, on the 0 to 350 space. But if I'm looking to do bigger loans, if you look at the top lenders, it may not give you, what you're looking for. So like if I'm filtering data, I'll click on loans 500 to 5 million. If I'm doing a change of ownership, I can click on that. I can click and see what the top banks are. And if it's, a particular industry, I can say, well, who's doing loans for restaurants, and then find top lenders that way and try to see. Again, it really never ends. So if anybody's nerd like me, shoot me a message and I can we can share some data. But
that's awesome.
Yeah. And that helps people not only recognize who's doing what as far as like brokers out there of where to send their deals, but it also helps those such as you making a move, or anybody that's making a move, to make sure that their skill set and what they go for in the industry aligns with whom they are attempting to move to. Because that's a big thing that people don't do, I think, too often, which is why we see so much movement in the SBA space, is they make a jump. They're either told one thing and it's not that, or they assume and don't ask deeper questions. And then they get there, and it's not that they're bad loan officers, right? But they might be searching for the wrong thing or have the wrong network of people for what they are looking to do at their current job. So that's really
Tanya,
interesting.
The comp's better.
Dude, oh my God.
That's the only reason why we move, right?
Well, okay, the comp better, or people will move for things like, an increase in salary. Well, that salary better be what you can live off of if that's the only thing you're basing it on. Because if the commission plan seems better, but you can't get anything done, guess what? Yeah. Anyway.
You're broke.
You are broke, baby. Yeah. Anyway.
Wow. Well,
right,
Nick, thank you very much. Anything else on there?
I think that's it. If anybody wants to see anything, shoot me a message and I'll post some data about it. If you're wanting to know what a particular shop does, maybe yours or somebody you're looking into, shoot me a message and I'll send you a little snapshot.
And again, that's Nick Repertorio.
Repertorio right there.
I said Terrio, didn't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that I jacked him. He is going to get. He is going to take me out. Yeah, this is a payback for him, Nick. For he likes to send things and then tell me he's not going to tell me because he wants to see my freaking reaction on camera, right? So like my reactions are freaking real. Yeah. So payback. Do you want
Well,
to
thanks for
go
doing
ahead and
all of
spell
this.
that, Nick? Go ahead and spell your last name and stuff in
Yeah.
case people that are not on LinkedIn, right, are looking for you.
Yeah, Repertorio, REPERTORIO.
Nice. All righty. Well, Nick, thank you for coming on the show with us today. It's been quite fun. But other than that, guys, hey, we're here every Tuesday morning on LinkedIn and or YouTube live if you'd like to catch us that way. Otherwise, any of the streaming platforms where you get your podcast, you can find us. If you'd like to go back through any of our past episodes, please do so, as well as check out our sister show, the BDO show. Yeah, we're the sister show, SBA Today show. No. All right. Yeah. Okay. So Tuesday mornings, and I guess that's it. If you'd like to find Paul or I, we are on our LinkedIn pages. Go ahead and check us out. Send us a message. Let us know if there's something that you would like us to discuss. We would love that. Other than that, go out and have an amazing week, and we appreciate you. See you guys.
See you guys later.